Greetings, my friends. I want to thank you all for subscribing. I want to thank all of my channel members for supporting me in this endeavor to save pop culture. And if you are not subscribed, please consider supporting this channel. We need you. Thank you. My friends, the development history of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has been a long and tangled one, fraught with stops and starts, reshoots and more reshoots, and a delay of over a year from its initial scheduled release date, in part because of the public reaction to various leaks that emerged on this very channel, leaks that had Indiana Jones fans in an uproar. The leaks came out in dribs and drabs over the course of a few months. The idea of time travel in the movie, the suggestion that young Indy was going to meet old Indy, the warning that they were going to kill off Indy in his final film, kind of like Mangold killed Logan in Wolverine's swan song. Fans were not terribly pleased to hear about these developments, but the kicker, the coup de grace, was the leak telling me it was even worse than we knew. That not only was Indy going to die at the end, he was going to be killed back in time early in his career, and thus be erased from history as if he never existed, and moving forward, it would be Fleabag who would assume the identity of Indiana Jones, and in fact, there would never have been another Indy. It was her all the time. Then the plan was to have her play Indiana Changeling on her own Disney Plus TV show moving forward. And now, as insane as this stuff sounds, when it came out, a lot of what I was saying was confirmed by the mainstream media 2 months later, with photos from the set of Roman centurions, Roman galleys, and Fleabag wearing Indy's hat. One of my subsequent sources told me this was originally Indy's death scene they had filmed. After he jumps out of the plane, he's shot, he has a bad landing, he dies, and Fleabag takes his hat and whip. I sounded the alarm. Disney observed the sheer hatred these bits of news received from fans, and as a result, they panicked and delayed the release date for over a year, as they were mandated to fix this damn thing. And ever since that delay, they've been revising and reshooting and revamping over and over again. And today, my friends, I bring you some fresh leaks from someone my Hollywood Spies has confirmed was with the production and in a position to know some things about what's been changed.
Man, you've been on top of this whole thing from the start, dude. You'd link a rumor, then that rumor would be backed up in the mainstream media a couple of months later, sometimes even on the same day in one case.
Yes, my spies have done amazing work on this story the whole time, Harvey Cthulhu, and time again, I've been proven right. After all, consider this. If my leaks were wrong a year ago, if the information I had put out there was faulty, there would have been no need for Lucasfilm to delay the release of the movie and do reshoots. They simply could have released the movie, let it speak for itself, and that would have put those rumors to rest right away. The fact that they instead delayed the movie and started more reshoots speaks for itself and attests to the truth of what I was saying. But the real question now is, what have they changed? Are they still going to kill Indy? And is Fleabag going to take his place? Well, my friends, I have received new information from a walk-in source that is very encouraging. Now, normally I say to take walk-in sources with extra grains of salt, but in this case, the situation is a little bit different. This source was introduced to us by an established source, and my spies have confirmed this individual's credentials, so I suspect that unless this is pure and deliberate disinformation, which it might well be, the information this source is bringing us has a high likelihood of being genuine. Nevertheless, at this point, I must state that the information I'm presenting today is information provided by a source claiming knowledge of the situation on Indiana Jones 5, but since I cannot independently confirm this information, I am presenting it as unverified rumor, and I ask you to please take it with a grain of salt.
Very well. Disclaimer disclaimed. Now tell us, is the Dial of Destiny destined to dial up disaster for Disney?
What I'm about to tell you was obtained under difficult circumstances, my friends. With this final round of reshoots, my spies tell me that there were many different units shooting the different characters who were rarely on the set together, as strange as it sounds. There were no complete scripts lying around. A lot of times the actors were working against green screens and only had their own lines in the scene. That's how badly Disney did not want leaks getting out about this film ahead of time. As one of my spies said on March 23rd, quote, "I apologize for not getting this to you sooner, but I have to be careful because there are a lot of snitches. The end of this movie has completely been reshot. All major cast members were on set for about 2 weeks. Ford was here for 4 and is continuing to be on call. Antonio is also on standby along with other cast members. This movie is going to possibly be the biggest mess ever. The CGI is horrible. Most of the CGI crew walked last week. People who have worked on sets for 15 plus years say they've never ever seen anything like this. It's pure chaos. They are trying so hard to make this without it being leaked, it's just confusing. There's a special group that has been working after hours to watch dailies and other stuff. The green screen is so overused, I still don't know who the stunt actor in the suit is going to be. Word on the set has it is young Indy, but I'm not 100% sure. According to multiple people, this movie is $150 million over budget, unquote."
Well, that makes sense. With this many reshoots and all the scrapbooking, it's almost like they shot 2 or 3 different movies at this point.
Harvey, at this point, I think it'll be a miracle if this movie doesn't suck. A genuine miracle. OmniVac recently calculated the odds Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny won't suck at slightly over 7%. But I tell you, I will consider it a win if they don't use time travel to erase Indy and replace him with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. If they kill him, it'll suck, yes, no doubt, and no one wants to see that. But I think the best we can realistically hope for, folks, is that they don't humiliate Indy and have Fleabag take over for him. And according to the information presented by this walk-in source, I feel fairly confident, my friends, that we have dodged that bullet. That given the changes I'm about to report to you, Kennedy's favorite ending has been ditched, and fans will be spared the madness of that conclusion. Here's what my latest source had to say. The first question my spies had for this source was, "So tell us, why have you decided to talk to us?" The source replied, quote, "Well, to be honest, I kinda had to be convinced by blank, and I do feel people should be aware of just what they are getting. I mean, to be fair, this movie has one good weekend. After that, yeah, not so much," unquote.
Oh dear. So this source thinks the movie isn't very good, it would appear.
That's what they're saying, or implying, Skull of Calderon, that there will be a huge opening weekend as curious viewers come to see what all the hoopla's about, but then it will drop off as negative word of mouth spreads. Now, to be fair, this is only one person's opinion, but still it is an interesting opinion, and I make note of it. My spies then asked this source to share with us whatever they were comfortable sharing, and this is what the source replied, quote, "Okay, for starters, most of the reshoots were to remove old man jokes, and they also removed some of Fleabag's rescuing Indy, and balanced it out, adding Indy saving Fleabag. There is not as much time travel, and what's left is more of a flashback," unquote.
Hey, Doomcock, you were speculating after the Super Bowl trailer that maybe they were cutting back on the time travel angle. Looks like that's the case, if this source is correct.
Yeah, it occurred to me there were only 2 reasons to have time travel in the script in the first place. To show young Indy, and then to kill young Indy back in time so Fleabag could take his place moving forward. But if they are changing that now, if Fleabag doesn't become Indy, and I think thanks to the leaks I got out, we were able to stop that idea in time, they can show young Indy in flashbacks and then can cut back on that aspect of the script. I also had previously reported that they were cutting back on Phoebe Waller-Bridge's part, cutting out her snarky comments, and now it seems they're editing the movie to have Indiana Jones save her and not vice versa. And that's very encouraging. A shift in how they're treating Indy in his own film. But now we come to the really important question. My spies asked this source, does Indy die? And here's what the source replied, quote, "I have no idea. There was a rumor he does die, but then Fleabag uses the Dial of Destiny to bring him back, but I don't know for sure. Unquote.
Oh, shit. Seriously? Man, Kennedy just can't let Indy be the hero, can she? Yeah, they've edited out a lot of the old man jokes, as Harrison Ford stated in an article published a few months ago, although he claimed that they were cut in the script stage, which is a weird thing to say after years of that script being out there so late in the production. Unless, of course, they'd eliminated those nasty insults to Indy in the reshoots, and they wanted to get word out that they wouldn't be insulting Indy constantly in the movie to calm fans down, but without admitting that they ever did insult Indy constantly, the disingenuous swine.
I find it entirely in keeping with Kennedy's aim to elevate stunning, brave women, the bestest ever, over masculine icons that Fleabag brings Indy back from the dead using the Dial of Destiny. That makes a certain amount of sense, doesn't it? Now, this could be a cringe moment, or possibly a moment that could work if Indy returns to kick ass and save her then in return. We'll just have to see how it plays out when it finally releases. At any rate, my friends, information about Indy 5 has been very hard to smuggle out from behind the magic curtain lately, but these are the latest rumors for your consideration. I am told I will have more shortly, but until that time, my friends, oh yes, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.